Hello there, this is Norma Cowie, and this is Monday's Mental Mind Treatment. I usually start a little bit earlier than 7, only because sometimes in the past, the going live has taken a little longer. I'll just adjust my top a little bit here. It takes a little bit longer than I would like. And so I'm just hoping that everyone will be here eventually for mental mind treatments. I'm realizing today I need to have my glasses tightened or something. Everything I've been looking at seems to be blurry. And so I'm going to, if I hold my glasses like this, I can probably read a lot better than I've been reading. But in the meantime, I welcome anybody and everybody who has a mental mind treatment that they need. I was fortunate this week, besides doing my Norma talks, I was able to also have an interview. And for those of you that have requested my newsletter, I have put all the connections in there. So, or else you can email me and I'll email them on to you. I just heard a friend of mine say today, I just listened to the podcast part. My friend Catherine had also made on her podcast. She said it was really, really good. I really liked that. So that was good. And I'm trusting that she will also ask for another topic that she wants me to explore with me too. So that's always nice to have something like that happen and to be with that. I really welcome you. I see there's a few of you here already. Just remember to type in what it is you would like to have. Last week I nearly missed somebody, and it was great. They said, "Hey, I've got to put back there," and that was because quite a lot had come in and made a lot of comments as well. And it's all the learning curve. You know, I haven't been doing this particular show for too long yet, so I'm still learning. I'm still all of a sudden it's help. It's Monday. I've got mental mind treatments. I'm also a reverend, so I have the privilege of officiating weddings. And this coming Saturday, I have 2 in the same day. And I was just finalizing some things because I like to be ahead of the game a little bit this afternoon. And then suddenly thought, oh, I better make sure I'm all ready for tonight. So not that I have much to get ready for, to be honest, because it's live. And so I did, but I've got 2, and then I've got another one the following Saturday and another one the following Friday. So there's, little ones, and I have been making some bookings further on as well. So yeah, it's life. It's called life with all the different things that are going on. And thank you, Karen. Thank you, because now I can stop rambling. I can ramble, but I'm thinking, let me take a look, see what you've got today. And as I said, I'm going to put my glasses so I can hopefully read better. So greetings, Norma. Greetings to you, Karen. I really struggle in forgiving myself for past decisions. I would love a treatment for self. Hang on, I gotta organize this a bit better. Self-forgiveness, yes. By the way, last week you were dead on. Thank you. Nice to know. Because I don't know. Let's face it. What do I know? But they come through. The pictures I'm given, the information I've given, it all comes through there. I want to talk a little bit more before we do self-forgiveness, because funny thing, with a client today, I was talking about the importance of self-forgiveness, forgiving self. When you think about, and I will do the treatment in a minute, but when you think about it, how come we're addicted to beating ourselves up because we didn't do something right? I have to turn that off because we've already started. We have to, what's the word I want to say? We have to recognize there comes a point of time when we need to be ready and prepared to forgive ourselves. I spent a long time forgiving myself for a lot of things. And even now, sometimes I have to forgive myself because my mind does weird things at times. Or I'll replay something that happened maybe years ago and realize, I haven't quite let that go. So very often I'm becoming more and more and more aware of the need of self-forgiveness. So here we go, Karen. Here we go. I know there is one power and there is one essence. And we are connected to that essence. That essence is everywhere in love and light and ease and strength, whatever it is that we need and require. It really, truly desires to give us that. I also know, as I speak my word for right now, for Karen, is to inner strength, inner fortitude, inner awareness, so that she can be willing to let go what she perceives as transgressions, whether they're held as a guilt, whether there is a held, oh, why did I do that? No matter how it's held, it is a blockage to the essence of who you truly are. It is a blockage to the self-love that you have about yourself and what you can achieve and what you can do. It is the essence of who you are that comes through when we're able to forgive and realize that very often, especially when one has had a I'm going to say a religious background where, it's like God forgives you. It really doesn't talk about forgiving yourself. And that the guilt and the regret, which are the two main things that the whole forgiveness element works on. Excuse me. Here we go again. Clearing the channel is the knowingness and the willingness to receive love, because guilt and regret block love. It blocks the universal love. It blocks the love of self. It blocks you in a way that you are not able to be free to create. It blocks creation. So let's have a look at guilt and let's have a look at regret. Guilt. It is an insidious concept of thought where we feel we should have done better or different or whatever. So in a way, guilt has a lot to do with judgment. We're judging ourselves because we feel we have either let the side down, let somebody down, or whatever. And so we have a lot of guilt about that. But its partner is regret. Regret is like sorrow. Why did I do that? So again, beating oneself up, having judgment over who we are and what we are and how it works and what we do. I know when I feel the element and the essence of you, Karen, is a fear that if you do that, if you let go your regret, if you let go the regrets, if you allow yourself to align with the universal love force, there is a feeling that you're doing something wrong. And that's not what we want. We want you to know that love is always there. I always say it's only a breath away because I get very much in my head. I'm a heady person. I'm always in here a lot. And I have to remember to breathe down and feel out and feel and allow that lovingness to come inside and be a part of that. And it's in that space, then you're able to forgive yourself because you know that all is forgiven. When you touch into the universal love force, you know all is forgiven. This whole thing is that you're walking around with what do you call it? I'm a bad person or whatever on your mind, the guilt, the regret, the judgments that go on, especially from other people. It's so much easier to judge another than even yourself. It's like people judge. People say, what'd you do that for? Well, if we'd thought of something different, we wouldn't have done it, would we? Often our regrets and our guilt are from a learning perspective. We learned, or we hope to learn, but the key is to recognize that this divine energy that I talk about, this love, universal love energy, it loves. And because it loves, it is there for you to be able to accept and to be and to know. So in this knowingness that you're able to relax enough to allow that natural spring of lovingness that is there all the time to come forth, you can let go into that love to be transformed into love and light, whatever it is that you beat yourself up about. that you are willing to let go the judgments that you hold about yourself, but also judgments that other people direct at you, that you're able to be comfortable with being all that you are. I give thanks in the knowingness that you make steps, that you make little steps on being aware that you're okay, that you make little steps in going in the direction, going where you need to be. I give thanks in knowing this. I give thanks in knowing that you can you might clear out the closet. Hey, it's coming into fall here. Can't believe it, how cold it is. Plus we're having fires. Not good. Excuse me. Now, you can just let go of the preconceptions that you've made about yourself. Let go of the preconceptions that other people tell you that they've made about you. It's their stuff, not yours. Allow yourself to become all that you can be. And bit by bit, allow that love to grow inside you and know that you are loved beyond measure and all is forgiven because there was never held against you in the first place. It's about us forgiving ourselves. It's about you forgiving you and knowing all is well. As we release this thought with the information, we know that it is done and that, Karen, you are whole and complete and beautiful exactly as you are. And so it is. Amen. Whew, okay. Kayla writes, found you. Treat for yourself. Many blessings. I'm going to say treat for you, my dear. Excuse me, I got a frog in my throat. I thought I had cleared that, but it's still wanting to be there. So excuse me for a minute. Now, I was talking to my son today, and I said, I don't know what it is, but I said, it seems since I was sick in April, and it seems then ever since then I have all this stuff in my nose. I blow and go through so many Kleenexes. And one of the things is when I go to talk, sometimes it just seems to correlate in my throat here. Anyhow, Kayla, I know there is one power and there is one essence for all things. I know that love and light is with us in all ways. I know that sometimes life is not easy and that sometimes it feels like there's no end of situations. I give thanks in knowing that you know that this love that is there, this energy, this creativity, this warmth and love that you have for yourself, your family, and others inspire you. And so that which doesn't want to be in alignment with your true beingness can drift away, can leave. Because it's about alignment. It's about being in alignment. It's about trusting and knowing that you are at one with all that there is, 100% all the time. So even when something doesn't feel or look like it's in alignment, it's the trusting that this is, the acceptance, the releasing of it, the letting it go and moving. It's like taking little steps. I'm seeing all these steps. It reminds me of little people who have tiny little feet, but it's like they're tiny little steps going up this mountain. And it's like every little step that you take is climbing to the essence of being, of who you are. So it's like take each little step and rejoice in it. Whatever that little step is, whatever that little step looks like, this is about rejoicing. I feel like I want to do a big banner in the sky that says rejoice. So what is rejoicing? Rejoicing is the pure joy of being alive and experiencing those things that we like and that we love and that we want to create in every which way. I give thanks in seeing that clearly for you. I give thanks in knowing that it is little increments or little steps, and they just need to go up. They're not in front. It goes up. That you are doing those. And it says, take care of you. Put yourself first. Listen to the inner is it like a inner knowing that you have of what you need, whether it's to sleep, whether it's to walk, whether it's to eat some crazy food that you may have a judgment on. It's like it all comes into the pile of who you are and what you are, and the movement in the direction of where you are. And I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in knowing that you are making these steps and strides to move in the direction that you need to. And for this knowingness, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, as we release this into the light, knowing it is true. And so it is. Amen. Okay, Marianne. She says hard time finding me too. Isn't that interesting? Thankfully, I did. And thankfully, because I had a couple of things that I wanted to do for you anyway. I was looking back what we've done in the last couple of weeks. I think there's a couple of things here because I know you and I know that you've had some surgery that you're getting over and doing well. And I know that the stitches of that surgery are coming out on Thursday. I want to do, first of all, do a treatment on the healing of all the impactfulness that this has had around you. Not being able to bend over, not being able to do certain things, not being able to perhaps go here, there, or do what you may want to do and still having to do lots of other things. I feel there's an element of being ready to let go the restrictions. Letting go of restrictions that have affected you for some time. It's not just this. This has been an outward visible sign of other things that have restricted. You know, very often when we live, we have goals, we have big goals, but we don't always see the restriction that blocks achieving that. We don't see the restriction of a thinking because we think we're doing everything that we're told to do, how to create. But we're not always thinking of what is the restrictive thought. And sometimes those thoughts are buried so deep that we have to dig deep to find them. And how do we dig deep to find them? Is by listening to the thinking patterns. By sitting back and watching them go across the forehead, basically, as they come up from the subconscious, then going out, and just catching those ones that don't really support the essence of your world. It may not have to do with what your goal is. It may just have to do with oh gosh, it's never going to come, or no matter what I do, I don't seem to get there. See, I don't know what those little thoughts are, but I know that they're there. And I feel that it's a matter of just and just evaporating them. It's like having a little zipper. It reminds me of when I was in Paris, a good friend and I, we were in Paris and we went to Disneyland. I'm a bit of a Disneyland nut, and we didn't know what to do. And she'd seen this and I'd seen that, and so we decided to go to Disneyland. And it snowed. It was early January, and actually, it's a whole pile of circumstances went by. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but it's come out. But anyway, we went into Buzz Lightyear's ride, and in Buzz Lightyear's ride, it had these elements where it shot like laser things, right? Because that's what Buzz has. Well, I'm useless at this, but my friend did very well. Actually, she was catching a lot of them. But that's what exactly we have to be like at times. And I'm getting at is we have these thoughts that we don't. It's almost like they're so familiar we don't realize them, and we've got to be like Buzz Lightyear's laser beam. We got to just fry it. I call them freeze, evaporate, replace, but the same thing, fry it. So I think here, when I'm thinking and praying in this essence of you're creating not only the healing, the getting better, just everything generally, is to watch those subliminal thinking that you have to really be on top to be able to get it. So I give thanks in knowing that you have that. I give thanks in knowing that you're able to find those and zap them. Don't let them go back and recreate, because that's what thoughts do. They go back in and they wait, and then they come back out again, and then they grow. And any energy we ever give a thought will grow quicker and faster and easier. I give thanks in the direction we've been given, because I think it's a good one for all of us to remember. And so it's good luck with the zapping. Funny, I remembered that in Paris. By the way, it really snowed, but we were lucky we got back out of Paris that next day. Okay, where am I here? Karen says, so insightful. I will take your divine advice. Bless your heart. Thank you very much. I think I'm good there. JS. Hello. And I'm so happy to catch this live. Okay, but I need to know. Oh, here we are. You got something further down, and I'll come back up to Suzanne later. It says, see, I really need new glasses, I think. Catch those thoughts that don't support the essence of your world. Very, very, very great. So poetic, Norma. Oh, it's Justine. Bless your heart. That's my Justine. Thank you. For a good friend of mine. Okay, I'm going to go back up here to Suzanne. Much gratitude and love for your beginning prayer. Exactly what my mind, body, and soul needed. That's what happens. And that's what I'm hearing. And that's why I'm very happy to do these. And when you ask for something, it's not just for yourself, but other people that listen, because we're all part of the whole. When you ask for something, when you want something, and I speak, I never know what I'm going to say. And sometimes I remember something, or sometimes I'll say something one way or another. And that's what people write. And they say, boy, your words just really rang true to me, because they watch after. Many people watch long after. I love it when you're live, though, because otherwise what would I be doing? Talking to myself, I guess. So Marion says, thanks so much. Buzz and I will become best friends. I love that. Yes. That was fun, actually, but I'm useless at it. Justine says, thanks. May I ask how to accept more love into my life? Oh, how do we accept more love? First of all, I'm going to tell you another story of what happened to me when I first really ran into the love vibration. I want you to know, from the age of 7, I wanted to figure out how God worked. And life took me, because it was very important to me, on a journey. And one part of that journey, I was in a course that was a 9-month course. We were going 1 weekend a month. Very similar. I taught very similar courses years later, but I was sitting there, and this 1 week before I got it, one of the people in the course had this awakening where he felt the energy. He felt connected to the energy. He felt a little bit out of him, but he knew he was there. And so I cried on the way home from that course, actually. The next month, I ran into that energy. Well, we were doing a lot of clearing stuff, so it was time. But I knew the moment I felt it up here, I'm going to slouch down a bit. I felt it up here, and I knew I had to get it inside me. It has to be inside. So however you see the universal love energy, however you feel it, it really is a feeling, is that you must breathe it inside. Funny thing, I was just talking to one of my clients today about that, about bringing it in, so our cells feel it and we feel it. Because when we get up in our heads, which those that know me know I'm prone to do that. I'm up there, and it's like I have to stop. I have to breathe, and I drop myself right down into you might say my gut, where I just feel that love energy, and then I can bring it up and out and put it everywhere. I think the mistake we make, and I may be incorrect on this, some people are quite willing to correct me, but I found to stay in that state in a daily ongoing doesn't always work. But the knowing that it's there and that you can access it at any time does. So it's like when you get too intellectual, or when you get too emotional, or when you get too caught up, you just stop, you take a breath, you recenter in that bulk of that lovingness, and you know all is well. Because I know people who know me, and many of you that are on here, I know have listened to me through Norma Talks or Sunday Thought, or just know have been around for a long time and have heard me. I believe that this is an emotional planet, and we're here to learn and be able to just detect what our feelings are. Feelings is our body's way of talking to us. That's how I teach it. When we repress those feelings because we don't like them, we don't know what we're going to do with them, they turn into emotion. And when they turn into an emotion, they're blockages. I have in one of my little booklets I wrote on spiritual prosperity, what I used twice. I used two different visualizations of a river and the rocks in the river, and they're fascinating ones to do. Actually, they're really fascinating little visualizations, and I learned a great deal from other people doing them and saying, "Oh, well, I do this and similar," and then just added to it. It's like our blocks that we have are usually, we talked about regret and guilt earlier. What are we throwing away and putting down there that's blocking the flow of our lives, that's blocking our feeling of prosperity, yes, but our flow, our connection to the love source, the connection to the essence of who we know we are? Usually it's an emotional blockage. Now, that emotional blockage could be a judgment. Often judgments come from other people. They do it in their energy field. They may not even say the words, but they think it. Oh, you're too this, or you're too that, or because they don't, you may not fit their criteria of what a particular person may be. And I think many of us who, especially for many years, I was very much in the public eye. And it was, I had to let all that go, because how could I meet everybody's criteria? I had to meet my own. I had to be happy with where I was. And there were times when I wasn't very happy with where I was because of what was going on in my personal life. Yet, when I do my work, I always feel connected. I always know that love works. I had a wonderful session this morning that reminded me of so many things. That was just, and that's what I do this work for, is being reminded, because I can get lost in my head. I can get lost in different things. But when I remember, when I see for another what's blocking them from being all that they can be, being part of the one. There's been books and things written about that. You are part of the one. And sometimes that's pretty big. Sometimes it's pretty vast. But if you just be with it, nothing is expected from you except being who you are. And I think that's because we grow up with people having expectations of who we are and what we should do and what we shouldn't do. A lot of information coming in, and we try to please. Some of my male audience may not know exactly how that works, but my female audience will. How do we please? Are we pleasing ourselves? Are we being all that we can be? So how do we create that love? How do we find that love? We got to touch into it. And there's many ways of doing that, but then we got to get it inside. I really feel that's the key. It needs to be inside. And sometimes it's a little bit, I remember the first time, as I said, the first time I experienced that, I knew I had to get that feeling inside. It was like pulling it in and then clearing the resistance to it, because we have resistance to pure love, because we carry judgments, we carry guilt, we carry regret. We have all these other emotional, mental things going on. And it's like, just relax and be. And that's why a lot of people meditate. A lot of people meditate. I've practiced different things at different times. But I like to think I contemplate because I contemplate the love. I contemplate how it works and I be with it. And it's that everyone finds their own way how to not just go into the nothingness. Because love is a feeling. And I feel personally that when you know that feeling and you're able to work with that, then you've learned what this planet's about, what is offered us. And then you learn how to create with it. And you become and create the world you want. I was telling somebody today, I've had miracles happen in my life. Often when I wasn't thinking of them, I wasn't planning them, but the right person came and said the right thing to me and maybe changed the trajectory of my life, changed how I was doing things, changed what happened. Because most people's lives are up and down because it's like we're not just little islands in this big ocean. We interact with this world. We have to cope with this world. We have to know what this world. So when I think of JS, my dear Justines, how do I accept more love in my life? Let go of all the other stuff. Just let go of it. We always do the best we can. And that means letting go of the judgment that we could have done it different. Oh, we could have done more. Oh, we could have done this at any given time. We always do the best we can. I'm not perfect. I don't do everything perfectly. Often I think, oh, why didn't I say that? Why didn't I do that? Now I have a choice. Do I beat myself up because in that moment I didn't act what in retrospect looks like I could have or should have acted? That is totally beating yourself up. That is separating from love. You forgive yourself. You're human. You're human. And being human has a great capacity to love and accept others as well as yourself for who they are. All right, I've got some more notices down here. Just the breathing is the key. Yeah, for a lot of people it is. I'm not a great breather, so I don't talk too much about breathing. Sometimes I do. I always notice the embodiment of that feeling more when I breathe deeply. Good. Yoga. Meditation, like you said, lots of people meditate. A lot of people meditate, but they don't feel love. Think about that. They go into an open space. That's what I was referring about, into the nothingness. It's preference, I guess. It's preference. I like to feel the love. I like to know where I am. And because I know that love has already, like in that energy that what I do is already accepted and forgiven, I know it's easier for me to forgive myself for not being perfect. But the perfection only comes from the sense of who I think I am or what I think I do. Anyway, I think I got I don't think I missed anybody. I think JS made a lot of comments there. So Mary, I think I got everybody there. I just want to check, make sure I did before I go to my little pad I've got here. Every week I have been doing prayers for Miss G. And I did hear from her and that she is doing better, which is wonderful. So in my knowingness, as I speak my word for Miss G, I know that the continued physical health, the beingness of who she is radiates through her, and the letting go of all that restricts the physical healing, whether it's in the physical, emotional, mental planes or whatever, is just let go. So it's quantitative, so that where it may have taken quite a while to go to, we'll say A, Then it took more quicker time to go to B, and it gets thicker and thicker. It's what I see. It's like everything is building up more and more and more. So it's going quicker and quicker and quicker, in the sense of the health becoming stronger and stronger and stronger. And the sense of letting go of anything, any restrictions whatsoever is just done. And I give thanks for the knowing of that. I totally, totally give thanks for that, which is great. I also want to do a prayer here for Barbara, who is not having a great time in it with her health, with her. It's about every level of her life. Now, when I speak my word for Barbara, I remove a lot of my own personal awarenesses, for I've known this person for a long, long time. I also know, some of you might say, some of the things where she perhaps makes things hard for herself. So when I speak my word, I put all that aside. For I know the one power and the one essence and the one love is in each one of us. And that lovingness is there to support, to love, to cherish, to bring forth the strength and the inner power to deal with whatever is presented to us, whether we believe that we created it or it's there. The thing is, it's there. So it's there. It's reality. But I also know, as I speak my word for Miss B, that peacefulness seems to be, it's like I see this big banner where it says peace, and it radiates down like rain in a way. The rain coming on down, bringing peace and harmony and ease and grace. And the word grace comes out and also intensifies. To find that feeling of peace and grace, to allow oneself in a way to surrender and not fight the process. Very often when things aren't going well in the physical level, is we fight it. We don't know why it's there. We think it's our fault. We've done something. And often it's just a matter of acceptance and grace. Okay, you're here. Now we can let you go. I acknowledge you. I see you. I'm aware of you. You've done your job. You brought this to my attention. Bye-bye. Goodbye. Let go. And I give thanks in knowing that this Miss B, through this time of what she's going through, is coming to that place of allowing the letting go of whatever, and letting go of how it's supposed to look and how it's supposed to be, and just accept what is. I always call that isness. Everything just is. Sometimes we have to accept the isness as not what we would prefer, not what we specifically want, but isness prevails because it is what it is. And I give thanks for this, for knowing this, and for all of those that are listening that realize just the allowing of isness into their lives, they can clarify and let go of what may or could or should be, because it isn't. It just is what is. That is always what is the essence there. So I don't see anything new. If anybody has put anything new in here, you put something more and I can see it. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. One of the things I found tonight, we were talking a lot about, well, maybe it was today, I was talking a lot about acceptance of what is. I think very often we think, or we're told, that if we just change our thinking, everything will change. And in lots of ways, I teach that myself. But I want to, thanks, Kayla. I see that. I will address that, but I want to finish this thought. Is that if we can begin to let go of our guilt, to let go of our regret, to begin, totally stop beating ourselves up for what we imagine that we have done, then we would allow ourselves not only to love and connect to the universe, we'd allow the miracles to happen. We wouldn't be blocking them because it's not what we thought it should be, or it's not what we thought it could be. It's because we have an opportunity that will come in very often when we don't expect it. Because you are loved and you are looked after. And that is the thing to remember. It doesn't matter, really, because no matter what, you're loved. It's better if you can get it inside, because then you are aware more that, oh, yeah, right. That person says something to me. Maybe I better follow through on that. Or little things that look like that. Now, Kayla has just reminded me that she wants a prayer done for her grandson, actually. And so I'm just going to do that. I know there's one power and there's one essence. And so I speak my word for Connor in knowing that the miracles occurring and ready to occur around this individual, it's like the angels form a circle. But it's like, how do we get into the it's almost the disposition, but it's not in the feeling level, in the mental level, the pre-mental awareness of where things should be, how they should be, how they look, where they go, whatever. There's a lot of mental work going on here, trying to figure it out. It's like putting a jigsaw puzzle together, but the pieces don't match. They just don't fit somehow. Now, I know that as there is a letting go and moving into that love that we've been talking about tonight, in a reassuring that what is needed will be there. When we're trying to think of how to do something, we don't leave space to have it come in an inspirational way of how to receive it, or where to go, or what to do. What I think here is no more worry, just relaxing and let it go. This also works regarding health. This works on the money. This works on opportunity. This works on his new world that he's beginning. Everything is just about letting, there's a saying of letting go and letting God. So let's say we say letting go and let love. So that energy inside has a way of being manifested. Right people at the right time. Right situations that come in and allow us always to move into the sense of being. There is love, there is light, there is ease, there is grace. And I myself want each person that's been on here tonight, in support of the work, in support of where and who that I'm working to do, I just send out a beautiful ball of love, of pure acceptance of you and your journey. Wherever that journey is taking you, whatever that step is that you're going to do, know that you walk on sandals of love. Know that you will be guided if you will but listen. Sometimes it's a feeling. Sometimes it's an information that comes from, who knows, some crazy place sometimes. I have seen inspiration in billboards and books, overhearing conversations, giving me answers of things I was wondering about. It's about being open to the divine light and the knowingness that all is well in the direction that you're going in. I give thanks for you. I give thanks that we are able to do a show like this where we can explore and allow information to come through that may not come through somewhere else, to know that you can achieve to happiness, clarity, peacefulness, joy, and love. I give thanks for each one of you. And as we leave tonight, I just know that you are well loved. Everything that you have brought about in your world. Let it magnify. Let it be there and allow it as you move forward. And I look forward to next Monday when we get to do this again. And I appreciate you there's some new people here, so letting people know and to come forward. Just to remind you that I'll be back on Wednesday and again on Sunday. Please, I finally got my September, and I made it a 2-month September, October newsletter out. And if you'd like one of those, check out my website and go from there. It's all wonderful. And I just want to know, thank you that I get this opportunity. Bless your hearts. Love you. Night now.